Hey, welcome to the Sketch Magazine podcast. I am here with Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine. How about you, Bob?
Doing good, doing good. Heavy into this Kickstarter, and
Yes.
yes, the HellGirl Kickstarter. We've got like I think 12 days as of the recording of this to
Mm-hmm.
go. So by the time this goes live, it's probably going to be a lot shorter than that. And it's been an adventure to say. It's a
Ups and downs.
It is. It's got its ups and downs, as you know, with Danger Tours,
Yeah,
ups and
yeah.
downs.
We squeaked by.
Squeak by, yes.
Squeaked by.
And I know part of my problem is I'm not consistent with them like a lot of the other people out there who are doing Kickstarters with projects, and they got one after another after another. It's just we're not doing that yet, and we had earlier discussions about trying to get that in place. So I think that helps build a following, supporters come and check out your work. They enjoy what they
Mm-hmm.
see or whatever. So it's been a little bit of a rough road here, but it's doing all right. Having a
Yeah.
lot of fun with it. But one of the things that came up to me is we had the last page of the Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and it was inked, right?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
thinking
Bill
right?
Nichols did for consistency. 'Cause he inked the whole issue,
Right,
right?
right. But you have a brush that can do the scales and
Well, yeah. What I did was I asked if I could just do my own version of this last page, basically
right,
for my YouTube channel, just
right.
because it's really cool. It's a really cool picture,
Yeah.
and the
Now
characters.
let's get this out. Big
Yeah.
G did it. Your boy, Big G.
Yeah,
Yeah, he penciled these
he
last two
penciled it,
pages
yeah.
for us. Yes,
So
he did.
it was like, I was like, I'm sure Bill probably sat there because when I was inking this for my channel, I was like, yeah, that's total classic Giuseppe. And then I started thinking, oh, what about Bill ran into thinking, what the heck is
Right,
he doing? I'm like,
right.
oh, this is old hat. I've worked with this guy for what 10 years?
Yeah,
off and
you
on.
have.
Yeah, but yeah, and he did a great job.
He
This
did.
is she's got like armor scales on her new
Well,
uniform, right?
yeah, if you're following the Hillgirl Kickstarter, you know her outfit's a little risque, to say that. Little
Yeah,
opening areas.
warm
Um,
weather
exactly what you would
clothing.
expect of a 90s good girl character, because that's when she was, first
Right.
published, because it was 95.
Hmm.
Well, in the next storyline that she's moving into, the concept here is she's going to move into chapter 2, Paradox Wars, for a quick little visit. And what's going on there is more of a war type thing. So we wanted her exposed parts to be more armored up.
Right.
So we came up with like the scales of that you would see in armor and stuff like that. So we played around with a couple different concepts, and Big G came up with a pretty good design there for the outfit.
Yeah.
So on the last page, we sort of get to see her in the new outfit.
Right.
So yeah, it's So I've asked Chris, had some questions about when he did that re-ink over, and I was like, oh wait a minute, can you do this? Can you do that? What's that?
Yeah.
And
How
so
did
then
you do the scales? They're awfully uniform.
yes, and I was like, I'm gonna twist his arm and bring him over here, and
And it
and
is
yes,
twisting my arm.
and let's see how he did it. So
All right. Well, come on over. Share my screen. Do you see it?
yes,
Okay. So this is what I did. Um, so right off the bat, I did a lot differently than what he had penciled. I did my own background, so maybe
hmm
we should just turn that off so we're not confused by it. There we go. All
okay,
right, so here are the scales.
right,
They're pretty uniform with one exception that's right here. And I'll
okay.
explain that in a minute. You probably never even noticed it.
Nope, I
Now
did
that I
not.
pointed it out, that's all you'll see.
It's gonna stand out now.
Right, but
Now,
I have a layer over here called scales.
okay. Oh,
So I
okay.
did that for a couple of reasons.
Now this is done in Clip Studios,
This,
correct?
yes, absolutely. I should always
Okay.
remember to say that. Clip Studio Paint. I
Yes.
absolutely love this program.
Yes.
Love it. So maybe I should show the pencils. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
We're
here they
not
are.
giving anything away. other
Nope.
than
No major nothing
she
here.
survives the story, and yeah, there you go.
Okay, so here are the pencils.
Yes.
And he's got these like fiery swoops in there. I wanted to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he has these really nice scales, armor in there. I have a lot of masks over here, as you can see. I actually have a YouTube video coming out about making masks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know when. It's all edited. I just got to make a thumbnail and schedule it.
Okay.
Scales. Okay, so with the scales, I made a brush. I know you're like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, he made a brush. That's new. Let me turn that off so I can show you what I did. There are a couple of ways to do. See, I'm having issues because okay, right at the bat, I gotta tell you, my graphics tablet only goes this far on the screen. Do you see?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I have it blocked off. So it matches. So I have to use my mouse to grab stuff from
Right.
way over here. I made a brush. Here's the brush.
Okay.
And let me make a new layer. And now do you see
Yes.
how you can turn it and arc it?
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So what I did was I just went into when it comes to Clip Studio Paint, whatever you want to do, you definitely have to be on that layer. Even if you wanted to select a color on this layer and you're on this one, it'll only grab the color from this one.
Oh, okay.
So you go in here and I selected that
Mm-hmm.
and I made sure it was closed so the selection would,
Right.
be in the leg. And then went back to my brush. And since it's masked off and everything's going to go inside there, anything I do out here you're not going to see, because when you first make that first line there's that weird pattern. If you start from over here,
Okay.
see, now the reason why that, and then you could try to line that up,
Right.
but you're not going to get a good line on that.
No.
So what I had to do is I did this several times till I was close enough. I just did whoop, whoop by myself, just by pen.
Okay. Now, are the scales, from what we're seeing, the upper scales look like they're larger than the bottom scales.
Right.
Is that because of the curve of the brush, or is that because of the way you created the original brush?
It is the settings and the curve.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you see the sub-tool details?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Let me see. In brush size,
Okay.
I have a pressure sensitivity.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that right off the bat will help you get see how thick that
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
And then I also have it on where's the stroke? Ribbon. So it repeats that pattern over and over and over as if you were pulling out a long ribbon. You know what I mean? That's basically
Yeah,
what
like
it means.
like a paint roller. It just keeps
Exactly,
the
just
same
keeps
pattern all the
repeating
way
it.
across. Right.
And because it will follow, let me see, what else did I do? I think that might be the only two I did. So that when you draw a line, it creates like that,
Oh,
see?
yeah.
Because
Right.
it's a ribbon and it goes with the thin and thick of the brush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is another thing you can do, which I was playing around with earlier, and I think I need to turn all of this off just so you can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so when I did this brush, and this is where it gets difficult, it wasn't as easy as just make the brush and be done. This is the materials for your your brushes and your
Right.
tones and whatnot. I have it under image material and brush.
Uh-huh.
As you see, I have HellGirl scale, HellGirl armor scales,
Yeah.
HellGirl armor spelled with a U,
Okay.
and then this one was the one that finally worked. And the problem is with these two right here, this side, and it's really, I would almost, let me see if I can work, if I can drag it out. Yeah. This side of the line doesn't match up with this one.
Right.
So if it repeats, it there's a slight glitch.
Right. I
So
ran into that when we've started designing our video games,
right,
and you're redesigning backgrounds.
right,
You're using a small like stone pattern, and the
right,
top, bottom, left, and side all have to match up.
right.
So you can just stamp it all the way across.
It's got to be
So,
repeatable.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
This one I made, I was so happy with myself. I put it in a brush. And there was this
yeah.
weird gap, but I'm like, oh my God, what an idiot. This one right here was fine. It does line up. Again, just so you know, I'm only pulling out the image that I made.
Right, right,
If I attach this to the brush, make the correct adjustments, it'll make this over and over. But then trying to line up that next line and the
right.
next line was difficult. That's why I went with this one. And that just lines
Yeah,
up like that. Do you
right.
see this blue box?
Yes.
Okay, that's the
Is that
actually
the
it
actual
does.
brush?
Yeah, that actually doesn't line up. Look at that. It just looks like it does.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, it lines up this way.
Yes, it does.
And that was how, again, it took a while because what I had to do is I had to like zoom in
Wow.
like really close and be like, okay, so I'm erasing everything on this side of that one pixel.
Right.
So then when I would go back to the other side, I would have to erase up to this so that when they would then overlap and loop and it would be perfect.
Stamp.
Exactly. Right.
Huh.
That is why to say, show me how you made the brush, Chris.
No, that's okay.
It's going to be a long time. But when you do get a pattern that finally repeats
Right.
and you're happy with it, when you put it in, I should probably do this. Once you have your pattern, you have it selected.
Mm-hmm.
You go to edit. Where is that? Register material, image. I just made there's a YouTube video I have where I talk about making a page template that has the same stuff on it every page and it's repeatable to use. That is where you would use template. This would be image. You would register your image.
Right.
But when you do that, you would get this dialogue right here. And you would rename it because it's going to take the name from the layer that it's on. And you click tiling and use for brush.
Okay.
And then you select the tile direction.
Okay.
I selected all four when in reality I should really only have selected that one.
Okay.
That's why it gives this appearance that it,
Right.
you know. But what I did have to do, and let me close this and throw this away and turn all this back on. What I did down here was the line, the brush only went this far.
Mm-hmm.
And I just quickly did that with pen, like with a pen. I'm not happy with it, to be honest, but looks fine, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, it looks good.
But what I did here for this part, right in here, I made a separate layer, drew a line with the scale brush, moved it around, erased it, and then flattened it onto the scale level.
Okay.
So it looks like it continues to go down.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying, how did I get it to look like it's going around? Well, now you see that arc, that draw.
I can, because what I was looking at is that brush is like a flat brush. So how do you give it perspective? How do you make it look like a cylinder, like it's wrapping around a leg? How do you give it perspective? Yeah.
I did that like that.
Okay.
That's how I did it. And the beauties, you can go this way too. But when you're dealing with repeatable patterns, the way you made it is how it is. If I go this way, it's upside down now.
Right.
But if you turn the page, it's still that same way.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember.
And the thing is, if you do it on a layer, you can take the layer and rotate the layer around and fit it in, and then select it and then delete and drop it in. So
now,
I mean that's very.
I also have a short video about using the shift key to get a straight line.
Okay.
And this is another way you could get that curve for something.
Right.
So if you
Just
oh,
real quick, you
yeah.
keep saying you have a video.
Oh,
Chris has a
yeah.
YouTube
I have a
channel.
YouTube channel. Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
and I will put a link down below to his channel. I'm pretty sure we have a link on our Sketch Magazine YouTube channel too, but we will include a link below. So these videos he's talking about,
You can go watch.
check them out.
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd be great. And then if you
yes.
like it, if you think I deserve it,
Please
subscribe. It'd
and
be great.
that's true.
So with the shift key, you tap it once, and if
Okay.
you hold the shift down from that last position, you get a straight line.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
So now I have that repeated pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly get rid of all this extra.
Okay.
And this is what I was saying. You could select that pattern, again, on a different layer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to, I believe in here, it's in Edits, Transform, Mesh. I've used Mesh frequently while inking. Sometimes I think the face that I've inked is a little too, so I'll mesh it. I'll mesh it a little bit.
Okay.
You can also use Distort. There's all sorts of options. But
Clip Studio seems very familiar to Photoshop. Those are things that you would do in Photoshop too.
it is, but Photoshop has a few more photo manipulation
Sure.
and things that, but then Clip Studio Paint doesn't have, and vice versa. So you could then just, you know, if you hold down Shift, it also keeps it so that it goes straight.
Right.
And
yeah, you can manipulate it around and
right, and then you can create that that arc look if you want. You know, that's another way to do it.
Okay.
I think this might be a bit more tedious.
Right.
But
well, it's tedious, but if you were trying to sit down and draw each one of those scales,
yeah, that would be time consuming.
That would be very time consuming.
Okay, I
have to keep a line.
I have to confess though, if I were to ink an entire issue of HellGirl with this, I would have made the brush.
Yeah.
But for some reason, as I was doing it, I thought, you know what, I could probably have this done because I'm only doing this one page.
But
I made the whole brush.
Oh, now we got the brush.
Page, but now I have a brush, right?
We got the brush.
But when I was working on it, in that selected area, I did make several passes to try to get it just, you know what I mean, just right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the other thing about this is it also is based on scale too. Right now, I have this thing at maximum brush size.
Okay.
But if you're working on a panel, right, it's not as big. You can still make it smaller.
I was going to ask you that earlier, and we went in another direction. If you could change the size of the scales, and the answer is yes.
Yes,
awesome.
You can. And what I did was when I made the pattern, how big you see that bounding, that blue box?
Yes.
That's how big I made the pattern.
Okay.
So it can shrink down a bit and get a little bigger.
Right.
If I made it really small, like you see right behind it, it wouldn't get very big. It might get pixelated.
Right.
That's why I did it that way.
You get all rastered and stuff. Yep.
Yeah. So where's the? Okay. Oh, there it is. This newer version, they took all of these and they put them up on top, and I'm used to everything being down here. All right, that is basically everything I did for.
All right. Show the print one more time.
Absolutely.
Just we'll give HellGirl a plug. And
then,
there it is.
Yeah. Again, I recorded my inking of this. I'm going to edit it sometime and put it out on my YouTube channel.
When he does that, we will drop a note here on the Skystorm channel and let people know.
You watch the whole thing.
And the sketch channel.
Oh, you know what? While we're here, one more thing. I'm sure people probably know this, but if you don't, this is going to probably blow your mind like it did mine. Clip Studio Paint has time-lapse.
Recording software.
Built right in. So everything I've been doing, it is added to everything I've already done to this page.
Oh, okay.
So if I export it, it'll add all that other stuff I just did. And what's great is that while I'm sitting here not doing anything, but moving it around and showing you, it's not recording anything. It only
really?
records changes,
Uh-huh.
and that's it. It doesn't
Oh,
record
wow.
movements. Unfortunately, it doesn't record zooming in, zooming
Oh,
out. It
right.
records your canvas size right there.
Okay.
And I do have a. Okay, I'm gonna be done sharing.
Yes.
Cool.
Sweet. So, ooh, there we
Yeah,
go.
I did put that that entire thing I inked. I recorded with the time lapse in Clip Studio Paint.
Okay.
I forgot to start when I did her head, so it's just like the rest of her in the background and the scales. The
Right.
whole thing, when it's done with the time lapse and it kicked it out, 30 seconds.
Really?
It condensed it that much. Yeah.
Wow.
You can go to. I have a TikTok channel. I have a TikTok account. You
Who'll
can go
send
look
it
at
to
it
me? I'll
there.
put it down below.
Maybe I won't. You can also watch it on Shorts over on YouTube.
True. True.
But
On
it's
your
like it's
shorts?
really fast and quick. Like it's like boom,
Okay.
boom, 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 and all of a sudden, hey, subscribe.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
So yeah, and my voice for some reason I feel like I'm losing my voice.
No, you sound all right.
Okay,
You
because
sound good.
I
You
have no
sound good.
idea why. It's probably because it's dry.
Well, as anybody knows, Chris and I talk at least a half hour before we decide to push the record button too. So,
And then
yeah,
and then we lament it because everything we thought that was. I mean, we said a lot of cool stuff before,
I
and
know.
then we just
It's
end
like,
up recording all the mediocre stuff.
yeah, it's like we should really record from the beginning till the end, and then I can piece it together. But
Yeah,
that's
but
all
there's a
right.
lot of bleeping involved in that, though. But
There
I
is,
actually
yes,
would. I actually require the sound of a dolphin
yeah.
over my swear words because it's funny.
A dolphin.
It'd be funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
All
So
right, so we got a lesson in Clip Studio Inks today,
I
and
covered
I
a
think,
couple things I made videos for. Great.
yeah, I love it. So as you all got know, we tried to share everything we can here and making it
Hmm.
easier for everybody to create comics.
Right.
And speaking of which, we have sketchmagazine.net. We're still offering a free membership. You get everything. You get all the issues. You get all the articles. You sign up. You agree to take the emails for the comic books newsletter and stuff,
Hmm.
and it comes out about once a day, maybe once every couple of days. But you get access to everything, the full sketches for everything, and it's free. It's a membership we sell for
Hmm.
$9.99. It's free, so it's another way for us to give back. We have Chris's some of Chris's tutorials up there. This podcast is up there. Bill Nichols has got like 50 or 60 interviews for us to post that are
Yeah,
brand new,
he's got a
never been
lot of those
published.
coming. Yeah.
Yes, he
I even
does.
had one recently.
So yes, Chris was on there. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool things going on with Sketch Magazine. So check it out. Sketch Magazine update 47's in the works. It's being printed. As soon as everything's together, we'll get her shipped out. It has some delays in paper.
Oh yeah.
Evidently, a lot of my old paper companies have converted over to cardboard, believe it or not. Evidently there's a big need in shipping boxes because of Amazon's. And a lot of these companies who printed a lot of the heavier art papers and stuff like that converted over to cardboard to stay in business.
Well, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, it is. It was pretty crazy when I was talking to everybody about that. I was like, what? And they're like, yep, that's it. To stay alive, we had to convert over to corrugated cardboard to build boxes. I'm like,
I say save
dang.
your. I said save your money and corrugate it yourself.
Yeah. True, true.
Kidding. Well,
But
you know what? You almost forgot. You almost forgot the
what I
sketch
forget?
Discord.
Yes, it
Like get
went
some people
live,
on
didn't
there and
it?
talk about comics and tips
I,
and.
I will put a link down below.
Hmm.
It's an invite. It's an open invite.
Hmm.
Chris and I are there dropping some things in. Bill Nichols comes in. It's an open conversation. If you're familiar with Discord, come on. If not, it's real easy. It's just a channel. We go in, we talk, and drop some things in, and make
Yeah.
some posts and share. It is live. So yeah, come over, check out
Yeah. It'd be nice to get
Discord.
some. You know, you're not going in there just to hear us talk. You're going
No,
there to share
share.
your own stuff and look at other
Yes.
people's.
Ask
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Best place to ask us questions is there because we get notified. We can jump in there
Mm-hmm.
and try to get you the right answer.
Right.
Yeah, it's the easiest way. But if you want to drop questions down below, that's cool too. You know, we will
Yeah.
definitely check them out. I get notifications. So, all right, Chris, this has been fun. We need to do more of these art tutorials here, especially with you doing all
What am
all
I
the
gonna do
lifting.
for? Yeah. What am I gonna do for my channel then?
Huh? All right, all right, all right. We still got to write and draw and do this other stuff too,
Oh yeah.
right?
There's
For
a whole
making
lot of
comics.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess we could share that stuff here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. All
All
right.
right.
You all take
Awesome.
care.
Yep.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.